Hi vlog, welcome back to my channel. So today's gonna be a little bit different because I decided I'm gonna do a get ready with me, get to know me work edition. I am leaving later today on a work trip and I figured why not do a get ready with me, give you guys a little bit of an insight as to who I am, and yeah, tell you about me, how I got started in the industry, and you'll see me get ready, do my makeup. This makeup is supposed to last me until later tonight, maybe even tomorrow, who knows. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's little vlog. Get ready with me. Don't judge me. I know I'm not a beauty guru. But yeah, just wanted to do something a little bit different, and I will see you in a bit. Just gonna move my hair out of my way, and I think I'm just gonna keep my hair like this for today's trip. I'm just gonna keep it straight. I'm not gonna curl it or anything. If you see me looking into like the side, it's because I have my viewfinder there, and I just want to make sure that I'm not like shaky or anything. And if you see me looking the other way, it's because I have a mirror right there. I'm just using my e.l.f. Halo Glow sunscreen. I know I've mentioned this before in a previous vlog about like I wear sunscreen religiously. So I had a really bad experience a few years ago on vacation. I was actually in the Dominican Republic, and I thought, oh, you know, I'm half Puerto Rican. I'm not gonna burn. Why am I gonna burn? Yeah, I burned. And it wasn't just like a little burn. I got full-on sun poisoning. And if you don't know what sun poisoning is, I had fever, chills, blisters. I was as red as my hair, honestly. It was bad. And that took me a few days to recover from that. And ever since then, I will put on sunscreen all the time. Like, makeup's going on top of this, and I'll still put sunscreen on. It's good for your skin. That's why sometimes you'll see like my face is a lot lighter than my body. That's why we have makeup. But yeah, I just wanted to talk to you guys. This is my first ever like sit down full-on talk video, not just giving you little clips of what I bought and stuff. So I know I've mentioned that I've been in the industry for almost 8 years. I actually started when I was 22, and I'm 30 now. And it was just like a spur of the moment type of thing, honestly. I was at a point in my life where, you know, you're young, you're in your early 20s, you don't know what you're gonna do with your life. And I was actually going on a backpacking trip with my stepdad, and he was doing, if you don't know what this is called, it's the Camino de Santiago, Camino de Compostela. I forget, I always mix up the name. But he actually did it for 6.5 weeks, and I joined him towards the tail end, trying to like figure out what I was gonna come back and do with my life. I was unsure if I wanted to go back to school or where I wanted to go. I was working in car insurance at this time, and for somebody in their early 20s, it's a really boring job. It's a good job, stable job, but it's really boring. So that was a really eye-opening experience. And on the flight back home, my dad actually looked at me, and he looked over at the flight attendant. He's like, oh, you know, you'd be a really good flight attendant. Needless to say, 2 weeks from that day, I had a job. So it was a very quick process, and the whole process itself, for me, it was fun. It was different because I wasn't expecting it to turn out that way. I was actually interviewing for 2 different airlines at the same time, and I know usually people will mention like that they applied for all the airlines when they're trying to get into the business, and that's right. I did that. I applied for everything that was open. I won't tell you directly who I work for, but I'll tell you the other airline that I interviewed, and that was Norwegian Airlines. I think at this point they've changed their name after COVID and such, But yeah, their interview process was like they actually make you swim in a pool, get into a life raft, and then you have the option of doing your final interview before or after that. So I chose to do my final interview after that, just in case like I completely bombed the swimming. But yeah, that was actually pretty fun. And I met quite a few people doing that interview that were already in the industry. They worked for Delta, for American, and they were looking for something else. And for me, I was a newbie. I had no idea. And with that interview, they actually wanted to do my uniform fitting right after. But by that point, I already got the job with who I work for now. And the benefits were better. Financially, it was better. And honestly, I'm happy with my decision at this point. It's been a really good life experience. I didn't think I was going to be here for this long. They usually tell people from the beginning, if you're here for 5 years, if you make it to that point, you're probably going to stay. This is probably going to be your lifelong career. And honestly, I don't see myself going anywhere now. I have a good amount of seniority where I could basically hold whatever I want, domestically wise. International, yeah, like you guys will see me doing a lot of international trips, but that's because I picked them up, not because I'm able to hold the line specifically. But yeah, that's the story of how I got into the industry. And for me personally, the interview process was start to finish 2 weeks, and I had my training date, and this was in late 2015. And then January of 2016, I was already in training, going through the process. And 2016 is when I did come on to the airline, and I've been here since. And I've always been based in Newark. I am from New Jersey, so I got really lucky. I know a lot of people don't get as lucky as I did. I had classmates of mine that were pretty much sent to San Francisco, like, all right, this is where you're going, figure it out. You know, they don't give us lodging apart from just a few days in a hotel. We don't get put in like in apartments or anything. It's just, hey, you're somewhere that's not your home. Here is a hotel for a few days. Go to your orientation and then figure it out from there. I got really lucky where I got to just come home to my old bedroom in my parents' house, and that's where I stayed. In the first few years, I was on reserve. So it's interesting because I did a lot of like flip-flopping back and forth between being on reserve and being a line holder. I guess I got lucky where I wasn't on reserve for a full 5 years like they kind of had said. And for those that don't know, reserve is basically like on call. They could call me at any point and give me a trip. So I used to get a lot of 6-day trips. So I would be gone on international destinations for start on day 1, you're back home on day 6. I used to do those a lot because when I first started, they were very junior trips. Now those trips don't even exist. That's how much the industry changes, that things change that drastically. Where now the most days an international trip will go is 5 days, and you're laying over in the same place for those essentially 3 days, because day 1 you leave, day 5 you're back home. So, but I don't do those now simply because I have my almost 3-year-old son now, and I like to be home as much as possible. Like, yeah, you guys see me away what seems to be a lot, but in reality it's not. I spend a lot of time at home, and that's just luck. Honestly, I'm really lucky and fortunate where I make my own schedule now. I fly as much or as little as I want to, and I'm able to be home a lot. And yeah, my son misses me. I miss him all the time. But the benefit of it all is that he gets to have me whenever something important is up. If I need to go to school or take him to the doctor or be there for an activity, I'm always present. I'm always there. And I'm very fortunate for that, and that's probably one of the reasons why I won't leave the industry, because of the flexibility. Like, yeah, things have been a little tough the last couple years after COVID with our flexibility and like contract negotiations and stuff. So I'm hoping that over the next couple years things change and we gain some of our flexibility back, because that made a big difference. And I think that's why a lot of people get into this industry, because of the flexibility of the job. What else? But yeah, I do prefer international travel, honestly, compared to domestic. It's just, yeah, there's like really beautiful places within the US, and don't get me wrong, I have my favorite US layovers. I really do. There's been so many places where I'll go to specifically just for one thing, or because I like the layover. But internationally, I feel like I can't personally still hold it regularly, so I want to see it whenever I can. And people, the passengers that get on, they basically know already what the service is going to be like. There's nothing out of the ordinary to expect when you're on these flights. It's the same service time and time again. Domestically, you get a lot of people that either don't travel very regularly, so they don't know the flow of the service, they don't know how things are. So it's a difference in that sense. But regardless, I still love my job. I love what I do. I go to work and I have a smile on my face. Like, yeah, things could be trying at times and a lot of delays, especially this summer. We have so many delays and cancellations and tropical thunderstorms and all of that, and it's just that I feel like that for me personally, it has been the hardest starting off this summer. And so far it's been one of the hardest summers over the last, I would say, 6 years. It's definitely been one of the hardest summers. Even after COVID, like, I wasn't around during COVID because I was pregnant with my son. It just so happened to be like the perfect timing. I found out I was pregnant right before the pandemic. I was already almost 4 months pregnant at the time. March 2020 came along and my doctor was like, hey, sorry girl, you are gonna fly no more. So that's how it went for me. I didn't get to suffer through the pandemic the way a lot of other people that I know did. So I'm very fortunate in that sense. And I did get to spend about 18 months at home in general, from like the start of the pandemic to by the time I went back, my son was already almost 1.5 years old. So kid got really lucky and he had me for a long time. And I'm like, what kind of job gives you that? Where you have a child and you could spend a couple years at home. And I think I would have been out longer had it not been that there was so much change going on within the company after the pandemic. And they basically forced everybody to come back that was out on any type of leave. So I was out on an elective leave. It wasn't maternity. It was basically like a leave of absence, like a voluntary leave of absence. So I did that. Just, you know, I wanted to be home. I wanted to spend as much time with my son. Saved us a lot of money when it came to daycare and having people watch him. But by the time I was able to come back, you know, he was already getting started in daycare. I had a lot of help from my parents. So it worked out. And I also was only pretty much flying on the weekends. Now I do fly weekdays. And I try to get weekends off, just because who doesn't like to have weekends off? But I only usually fly maybe 1 trip a week. So gone on day 1, back by day 3. And that works out perfectly. I still get to be home. And I also work another job. I know a lot of flight attendants that they do also work second jobs, just because it, like we say, it keeps us grounded in a sense where, you know, we're able to keep that home life. And who doesn't want to have that? Who doesn't want to have like something to look forward to do when they come home? I know a lot of flight attendants choose not to have families and stuff. I'm very lucky with my decision wanting to be a mom, and I get to come home to that. And I don't have to constantly be thinking about the airline industry or what I'm doing when I'm not flying. I get to just be mom, just be present, and enjoy my life and pretend that I have some type of normalcy, like a normal 9-to-5 job when I'm home. I'm really lucky in that sense, and I wouldn't have it any other way, honestly. Sorry if I'm not saying any of the products that I'm using. Like I said, I'm not a beauty girl. This is not the purpose of the video. I'm just getting ready with you guys, showing you how I do my makeup, what's gonna last me the longest. I do layer like liquids, creams, and powders, just because I want it to last me as long as possible and look good for as long as possible. And excuse if you could hear like background noise. I have the air conditioner on, because if I don't, then I'm gonna be melting, and the last thing I want is to be here melting. And last but not least, I do setting spray. This is what's gonna make my makeup last all night. This just like glues my makeup into my face. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. Later this month, I'm actually going on vacation with my son, and I'm gonna film it. We are gonna be going to Nickelodeon in Punta Cana. This is his third trip ever. I've taken him to Houston and to Puerto Rico last year, and this is gonna be like the first big boy vacation, I guess you could say. So I'm really excited and nervous. I am not like a lot of other flight attendants where you see me flying on my own all the time. I used to do it a lot before I had my son. I would just hop on a plane and go wherever, and like buy the hotel or Airbnb when I got to the location. But he's still little, and yeah, I know it's good to like teach him now how to travel and get on an airplane, but it makes me so nervous. Like I see so many parents on the plane and just like no control. It makes me so nervous that he's gonna have like a full-on tantrum and I'm not gonna be able to control him. It's gonna be a great trip. Let's not even put any negativity out there. It's gonna be a great trip. He's gonna be so good. But I'm gonna film that for you guys, because it's my first time going to the Nickelodeon over there. Well, any of the Nickelodeon resort. And it's his first time. I know it's gonna be super hot. But I'm excited for that. And later, I'm actually getting ready to go to work now, like I said. We're gonna be vlogging Lima, Peru. I've never been to Lima. And my mom has an employee that's actually from Peru and was recommending all these places to go. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm like mentally picturing the timeline of everything that I could possibly get done within the short amount of time that I'm there. So that's a layover that I'm really looking forward to. And what else? I'm trying to figure out like some really cool content for you guys. You have to let me know down below, or I might even like ask in my Instagram polls if you guys want to see like recommendations of what I bring on trips, or like a pack with me, get ready type of thing for work, what I pack in my luggage, like what I meal prep. But I don't always meal prep, especially on these international trips, because if I have any fresh food on the return, they will throw it out going through customs, and like nobody wants to waste food like that. That's a waste. That's not good. But domestically, I usually do bring food with me because it gets expensive to be buying food on these layover locations. It really does get expensive. What else? What else is new? I really hope you guys like this style of vlog. It's new for me, so if it seems like I'm a little awkward, I am naturally a little awkward. But if it seems like I'm more awkward, it's just because it's new. I'm not used to necessarily have a camera in front of me and just like talking to a camera, making sure that it's all in focus. But yeah, today is actually a really nice day. There's no weather in the area. I didn't get to vlog this past weekend when I worked. I actually was just supposed to do like a turn is what we call them. So I go to one location and literally just either stay on the same airplane or switch airplanes and come right back home. I was supposed to do that going to Dallas, and we were almost 6 hours delayed leaving Newark because of thunderstorms in the area. And then by the time we got to Dallas, we were no longer legally able to work the flight back. So what that means is that we had been on duty for too many hours and we couldn't stay on duty any longer. So it was just a huge mess. They were trying to get a new crew. In that process of them trying to get a new crew, the pilots no longer had time to fly the aircraft back home. So that flight ended up canceling and I came home the next day. So it happens. That happens. Well, it's been happening a lot more often because we've been getting so many storms lately. So it seems like every other week at least things are canceling left and right. There's storms just ruining everything, and it's not even for like 1 day or 2 days. It's literally like a whole week to catch up on, you know, these cancellations and stuff. And I'm lucky that I came home the next day, but it's a little inconvenient when you want to get home and get things done for the week. Like, I just wanted to get some groceries, you know, wanted to get some groceries for the week, do a little meal prepping, and I wanted to spend some time with my son. I do get a little bit of mom guilt when I have to leave for work. Like, I think now that he's getting older, he's understanding that I leave and I come back. It's not just like I'm leaving him and I'm not coming back. He's understanding of that, but I still feel guilty. I feel guilty when I come home late. I feel guilty when I have to leave and I can't really spend the night with him. This has been from like the moment that I left, that I started coming back to work. And I think I will probably always feel that mom guilt, and that's why I try to spend as much time as possible when I'm home with him. Like, we do a lot of stuff like this, especially during the summer. Like, I'll take him to the town pool, I'll take him to the park, we'll go to the water park, I'll take him to the aquarium, or just, you know, we'll hang out at home, we'll watch movies together. He's a cuddler with me, at least. He likes to cuddle. So I'll take advantage and I'll just like snuggle up with him. But it does suck when I come home a day late and it feels like I missed out on that time with him. It definitely does. But I do my best to be as present as possible. I don't think I'm the only, like, I don't think I'm the only flight attendant mom that has gone through that. It's just, it's the nature of the job. That's why when I'm gone, I'll make sure to FaceTime him. I constantly check on him. I think I annoy my mom because I'm constantly asking, like, how is he? How is he? Send me a picture. Let me call him. And she's like, oh my God, just enjoy your layover. He is fine. But that's my baby. Maybe we have a little bit of codependency with each other, but I'm his mom. He's my child. What do I care? All right, mascara's on. This is my face. This should last me until later tonight when I get to my layover. Put on some highlight. And I'll do a little lip liner and a lip stain. I do whatever possible so my makeup lasts me a long time. So I don't really use a lot of foundation and stuff because I don't like it to get like really all like patchy and clunked up in there. Let me sharpen this. And I will use lip liner and then a stain on top because I want it to last a really long time, and that's usually will last me the longest, is doing that combo. Lip liner. And I will fill in my lips, because this needs to last through talking, eating, I'm thinking next time that I do this style of video, I'll put out a poll on my Instagram, like what do you guys want to know? Ask me anything type of thing, and then I'll answer them as I'm getting ready. And for anybody wanting to get into the industry, I say just go for it. Apply to all the airlines. The training process is, for most airlines, between 6 and 7 weeks. And usually you're not in like your home state when you're doing this. Like I had to go to Texas to do my training, and I was gone for 7 weeks. It is a commitment to be apart from your family for that time, especially me. Like I've always only ever been around my family, so it was a little hard in the beginning. But now, you know, I've been in the industry for so long where I'm home for pretty much everybody's events at this point. Like, don't get me wrong, I spend a lot of time away for holidays, for birthdays. Like, if I was home for one holiday, I had to give up another, and vice versa. Now I do my best. I could pretty much hold having holidays and birthdays at home, so I don't miss out. But still, you know, there's pros and cons to being in this industry. But I feel like if it's something that you've always wanted to do, go for it. Apply to all the airlines. Do your interviews. And ultimately, you decide who you want to work for. Even if you have to go through the training process twice with 2 different airlines. I know people that have done it, that have switched over from like JetBlue, American, Delta, regional to mainline. It's a commitment. It definitely is, and it's a lifestyle change. It's not just, oh, this is something new, I'm gonna try it out. This is a complete lifestyle change. And if you're going from working a corporate office to this, it is very different. But I think at the end of the day, you'll realize that this job gives you a lot of flexibility. You see so many great places, you meet so many new people. This job overall has benefited me so much, and it's giving me such a full life, and I'm able to share that with my son. Like, my family has been able to use my travel benefits. My son is now using my travel benefits with me. Like, this job has really given me a lot, and I'm so grateful. And I tell everybody, like, if you're interested, just go for it. Just do it. And what's the worst that can happen is that you don't like the job and you quit and you go back to doing what you were doing. Like, that's really the worst of it. Like, yeah, you live and you learn, for sure. You're learning a new job. For me, this is my career, but this is the easiest job in the world, honestly. It's the best job in the world, but it is the easiest job in the world. And I'll tell everybody, just do it. Just go for it. If you love traveling already and you see yourself, you could picture yourself doing this job, just do it. Just be yourself when you're going through the whole interview process, and that's ultimately all that matters. Just be yourself and be happy. But this is me. I'm pretty much ready. I'm gonna change into my uniform and head out, and then you will see me later heading to Lima. So I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. If you haven't already, I know this is like super awkward, please subscribe. It's so weird to ask anybody to subscribe. Subscribe and like this video, and I will see you next time. Bye.